Alright, in this video we're going to talk about box plots. Box plots, what's your first blank here, are constructed by using the measures of spread. So like what we did in our last video, finding the median, Q1 or quartile 1, and Q3 or quartile 3. And then the extreme values, that would be the maximum and the minimum, or the highest and the lowest, which is what we use for the range. So we use those 5 things from a set of data. A box is going to be drawn around the quartile values, so Q1 to Q3. And whiskers extend from each quartile to the extreme values. So the extreme values are the max and min. So we're going to make a box, and then we're going to draw some whiskers. These are probably my favorite graphs to draw just because I think they're fun. Okay, so here's our data set. Remember, step 1 is to always order the numbers from least to greatest. So let's order these numbers from least to greatest. Let's see, I'm going to do it over here because this is where we're going to be doing a lot of our stuff. So, let's see, it looks like I have 1, 2 2s, 1, 2, 3 3s, 1, 2, 3. I have 4, 2 5s, and then a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm good. Okay, so after you order them least to greatest, step 2 is to find the measures of spread. So the measures of spread are the median, Q1, and Q3. Okay, and then we're going to find the extreme values. So that's your max and your min. Okay, so we're going to find the median, Q1 and Q3, and the max and the min. Those are the 5 pieces of data that you need in order to graph a box plot, just 5 things. Alright, so I like to find the min and the max first because that's super easy. The maximum is the biggest number, that's 6. The minimum is the lowest number, that's 2. So I already got 2 of my 5 that I need. The median is what we need to find next. So beginning, end, beginning, end, beginning, end, beginning, end. 3 is left in the middle, so that's my median. Remember, we draw a box around each half. So in order to find the median of the lower half of data, so that would be Q1, we start crossing them off. 2, 3, 2, 3. Oh, it's going to be halfway between 2 and 3. If you can't remember, or if you can't look at that and say halfway between 2 and 3 is 2.5, 2.5, you could come over here and add 2 and 3 together. You get 5. Now we're going to divide that by 2 because there's 2 numbers. So 2 goes into 5 2 times. That's 4. I need to keep going, so I add a decimal, take it up, a 0. 2 goes into 10, 5 times exactly. Now I'm going to do the same thing for Q3. So beginning, end, beginning, end. Q3 is going to be halfway between 5 and 5. Well, that's 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So there's my 5 data points. Once I figure out those 5 data points, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put a dot above the number line at each of those numbers. So I need a dot at 3. Remember, it's always above the number line. And make it above enough, like a good ways. I need a dot at 2.5, so that's halfway between 2 and 3. I need a dot at 5, and a dot at 6, and then a dot at 2. Okay, so the next thing that I like to do is I put all these 3 on the same line because I'm going to draw a vertical line through these 3 points. So Q1, the median, and Q3. I draw a vertical line through those. Now what I do is I connect them to make a box. So in your box, the edges of it should be going through Q1 and Q3, and then you should have a line somewhere in your box where the median is. So now that I've created my box around Q1 and Q3, then I'm going to make my whiskers. So my whiskers look just like the whiskers on a cat. So they extend to the maximum and the minimum. And just extend them out. So there's a box with some whiskers on it. So a box and whisker plot or a box plot. All right, let's do some practice. Here's our practice problems. Let's see. First things first is to put them in order, least to greatest. So it looks like I don't have a 1, but I have a 2, a 4, and 2 6s, an 8, and an 11, a 13, and a 24. Okay, so down here I need to answer all these things. The median, we can do that first, or I like the max and the min, that's the easiest for me. Maximum is the biggest number, that's 24. Minimum is the smallest, that's 2. The range is really easy to find. It's the max minus the min. So 24 minus 2 is 22. Now let's find the median, the middle, beginning, end, beginning, end, beginning, end, beginning, end. So it looks like I need right here to be my median. Well, what's halfway between 6 and 8? That's 7. If you couldn't see that, you add them together. That's 14, and then you do 14 divided by 2, which is 7. So the median is 7. Now I'm going to draw a box. Now my upper half and lower half of data. Remember, this separates the two sets of data. So I made it really big. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, now let's find Q1 and Q3. So Q1 is the median of the lower half of data. So I'm going to beginning, end. So it looks like it's going to be halfway between 4 and 6. Well, halfway between 4 and 6 is 5. Again, if you can't remember that, add them together. 4 plus 6 is 10, and then divide by 2. That would be 5. Same thing on this end, beginning, end. So it's going to be halfway between 11 and 13. That's 12. Or 11 plus 13 is 24. And 24 divided by 2, because there's two numbers, is going to be 12. Okay. Remember, the IQR is going to be Q3 minus Q1. So 12 minus 5 is 7. Now we don't need all of this data in order to graph a box plot. We just need the median, Q1, Q3, the maximum and the minimum. So on the ones where I was subtracting to find a range, either in a quartile range or the range of the whole data, that's just extra information for me. All right, so let's go put our dots or our points above the number line at these numbers. So I have one at 7, halfway between 6 and 8. One at 5, which is halfway between 4 and 6. I have one at 12. I have one at 24. And then I have one at 2. Okay, so the median, Q1 and Q3, these are the ones that I draw my vertical lines through. Okay, so 7, 5, and 12. Draw your vertical lines. So through the middle 3, you draw your vertical lines. Then I'm going to connect my lines to make a box. And then I need to extend my whiskers. So this is a box and whisker plot. Let's do the same thing for number 2 over here. Step 1 is to always order them least to greatest. So it looks like my smallest number is 11. And I have 12. No 13 or 14, but I have a 15. No 16, but I have a 17. An 18. A 19. A 20, a 21, and then a 25. Great. So let's do our maximum and minimum. Those are easy to see. The maximum is the biggest, that's 25. The minimum is the smallest, that's 11. Remember, your range is your max minus your min. So that's 25 minus 11. 5 minus 1 is 4. 2 minus 1 is 1. So our range is 14. Now let's find the median, the middle. Beginning, end, beginning, end, beginning, end, beginning, end. Looks like 18 is my middle number. So that's my median. I'm going to draw a box around the upper and lower half of my data. Now let's find Q1 as the median of the lower half. So beginning, end, looks like it's going to be halfway between 12 and 15. So 12 plus 15, that's 27, and I have to do 27 divided by 2. 2 goes into 2 one time. 0, bring down your 7. 2 goes into 7 3 times. That's 6 with a remainder of 1. Have to add a decimal, take it up into 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So Q1 is 13.5. Now I need to find Q3. So beginning, end, beginning, end. It's going to be halfway between 20 and 21. It's going to be 20 and a half. If you couldn't see that, you could do the math. I'm going to do it up here. 20 plus 21 is 41. And then 41 divided by 2. 2 goes into 4 2 times. Bring down your 1. 2 goes into 1 0 times. Minus 0 is still 1. Add a decimal, take it up, and a 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times, exactly. Okay, so 20 and a half. Remember your IQR is going to be Q3 minus Q1. So 20.5 minus 13.5. Make sure you line those decimals up. 5 minus 5 is 0. Bring down my decimal. I can't take 3 away from 0, so I'm going to borrow. 10 minus 3 is 7, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So the interquartile range is 7, or 7.0, whatever you want to write. Now that I've found all of my points that I need, my 5 points, I'm going to highlight what I need. Median, Q1, Q3, the maximum, and the minimum. Okay, so we're going to go put a dot above our graph at all of these points. So I need a dot at 18. I need a dot at 13.5. So halfway between 12 and 14 is 13, but I'm going to need closer to 14. So just get as close as you can. I need a dot at 20.5. It's going to be pretty close to 20. One at 25, so halfway between 24 and 26, and then one at 11.